Hello, everyone. I know in the Facebook group, everybody's like, what is this? What are we doing? I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. So it's okay. We're going to go from the beginning. Okay. So this is not scary and you can do it. So this is what we're learning today. We're learning skills and how we can combine skills to make things easier. Okay. So let's go over what is a prompt. Okay, when you open your Chatty or your Claude and you type in what you want it to do, that's the prompt. A skill is a file that you upload to your Chatty or Claude. We're just going to say Chatty, okay, to your chat that tells it how to do that. Okay, now the workflow is when we combine skills together and it does things based on those rules. So you don't need to know what an LLM is to use a skill. An LLM is just the name for the underlying structure. It's large language model. It's the underlying structure of what makes Chatty and Claude and all those things work. Okay. If you can attach a file, if you can click the little plus sign and pick your file, then you can use a skill. So a prompt is the what. A prompt is asking someone to do something. Like, help me research my rainy day printable idea. Or let's think of it like this: telling your kids to clean the kitchen. Okay? You say, kids, clean the kitchen. That is the what. That's the prompt. Okay? Now, the skill file is the how you want them to do that. It's like giving them the instruction sheet for that job. So, and they're reusable. So you don't have to type out all those instructions every time you want to do something. You have a different project, but it's the same kind of job. It's like asking your kids to clean the kitchen, and you know how they just do the dishes and that's it. The skill is handing the instruction sheet that means clean the kitchen means do the dishes, wipe the counters down, load the dishwasher, sweep the floors. It gives them the step-by-step instructions to complete that job. A workflow is just jobs working together. For example, research the product, build the product, check the product. So you pass the work from one specialist to the next. It does it automatically for you. You don't have to worry about it. So, what is a skill.md file? You do not need to open it. You don't need to understand it. You can if you like, but the skill.md file is just the instructions. Okay? It's just the instruction sheet. So, how to use a downloaded skill? It's very easy. You download the zip file, you open the zip file, you find the skill.md um, file in the unzipped folder and you add it to your chat. A simple skill example is you want to research my rainy day idea. So the skill is the instructions how I want Chatty to research that. The prompt says what you want it to do, and the skill tells them how you want it to be done. So why not one giant prompt? Because who wants to type that all the time? And who wants to keep track of that all the time? You type one great big prompt, it works one time, everything's mixed together. You change one thing and then it doesn't give you the same result. Separate skill files have separate jobs, so you get more um, predictable results that way. So we're going to do a researcher, a builder, and a checker. Okay, it's the same project, just different jobs, because the researcher is going to go research and see where the gaps are, where, is this a viable product to create? Um, what kind of products are out there? Where can we make our own? Okay. The builder makes the thing. It makes the actual product. And then the checker checks the product that was built to make sure that it adhered to our standards. So, like in my road trip experiment, I made a whole um, little activity book road trip. It ended up to be 72-page printable. It was human guided. I did not use PromptRunnr, and we'll get into that later. But here's what I did. I used all these skills, and I researched the idea, planned it, and then validated the idea. And these were all inside one chat, okay? Just uploaded skills. It built the product, did the design, and then did quality check on that. And then it built the launch uh, ready product for me. It created a list for my launch, checked everything, created all of the promotional material and everything, and then it scheduled it all to all of my socials with Metricool. And it was so simple. But this was human guided. I like sat there with Chatty and just answered its questions when it asked me. It did most of it, and honestly, it took about probably 5 hours just because some things broke, some skills didn't work. I had to rework some skills for to test it end to end before I released it to you guys. Um, so it took about 6 hours, but it it did work. So some of the things that we did get into was it looked fine, but when I checked it, it wasn't really right. So the puzzle, like the puzzle page, um, it looked great. Um, but then when my validator skill checked it and checked the logic of the puzzle was not correct. So pretty is not the same as correct when you're doing things like puzzles and things like that. Uh, yes, human decisions still matter. Okay. Typography choice, you give it images as a guide for your color palettes and all of those things. Um, it can prepare the choices for you. You can still choose, and you can also tell it, I don't like that at all. Use this instead and upload an image. So, what happens when something fails? Well, it does. This is not fail safe. Okay. But we're going to keep the earlier work. We're going to stay in the same chat and send it back, like bad listing images or, something I just didn't like. You just tell it that you didn't like that and try again. So after I did um, the human led, me sitting there for 6.5 hours doing it and messing with it, then I created an autonomous experiment. Okay. So I decided to do like a little rainy day um, project that I set up all the idea and the skills and two reference images, and then I just had it make the text file for me to run through PromptRunnr, and then I just let PromptRunnr do it, and I didn't have to babysit it at all. That's when I was building all kinds of skills yesterday that was running. Um, but it created the product, the listing, and the whole campaign promotion all for me. So, but automation does not mean never stopping or never checking anything. So sometimes you need to, it will continue when the next step is valid, but sometimes you have to stop when the next system says, I cannot safely use these files, or you have to make a decision before I can do something. And you can build that into your prompts. So, for example, the autonomous test that I did yesterday, the rainy day test, it stopped at the metrical part because I did not give it the correct instructions to upload all of the media files to the Google Drive and schedule it. So it did give me a report on what it stopped at, which was great. It said, hey, here's where we stopped because I didn't have this information for you. So I know that that was like a big overview, but what we're going to start with is we're going to start small. We're going to use one skill, um, and we're going to use one short workflow, and then later we're going to automate it when it helps. You don't have to automate everything. Sometimes just one skill or just a regular prompt. You don't have to make a skill for everything. Skills are portable, meaning you can use the skill.md file in Claude, in Chat, in Gemini, I think. Haven't tested, but that they're portable. You can use them in whichever AI that you are comfortable with. Okay. And PromptRunnr is optional. Every skill, when you get to the end and it prompts you, do you want this as a PromptRunnr file? Do you want this as a text file for manual copy and paste? You can always choose that. You don't need PromptRunnr. It's just a huge time saver. So we're going to go through skills. I'm going to go and show you each thing, and then I want you to try it this week. I want you to try out these skills on your projects. Let's go download a skill, and I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we are in PromptRunnr. You don't need PromptRunnr to do this. I know I'm going to say that 5 billion times, but what you want is the free skill library. So we're just going to click on that, and this is where we're going to download our skills to run in our ChatGPT. So we're going to start with the skill 8. Okay, so we're going to help me figure out what to create. So we're just going to download that skill, and it's going to download as a zip file. So we're just going to download that. Let me make a new folder. Okay, so we downloaded that skill. Now that's all you had to do right there. Okay, all you had to do was download that one skill. And then what you do is you come to ChatGPT, and let's make sure you can see that this is a new session. This is nothing saved. Okay, and then we're going to go to our folder, and we're just going to upload the skill file to our GPT. So let me go to my Finder down here, and here's my skills demo, that folder, and here's my zip file that I just downloaded from the PromptRunnr site. Okay, so we just want to we want to unzip that file, and this is the actual file. You don't need to worry about the listing, the README, the anything. Okay, the test prompt is sometimes useful. You can open that up and copy it in, but we want this skill.md file. Okay, so what you want to do is just come to your Chatty and say add files, and then we go to that folder, and then we just choose our skill file. Okay, it's going to upload into your Chatty, and then it's going to give it instructions, but you don't have to worry about that. You can just ask Chatty, okay, what does this skill do? And it'll read it, and it'll tell you exactly what it does. So we're going to stop there on this video, and in the next video we'll go forward. But so I want you to go to the PromptRunnr free skill library, download this skill, okay, skill 8, and then unzip it and make sure you can find that skill.md file, okay? Upload it to your Chatty and just ask, what does this skill do? And it'll give you all the information about the skill. And I'll see you in the next video.